Of a news break for you. You all may know this. This has happened. This is something that's come as a discovery. For those of you that know, I'm Dave Zanotti. I serve as president of the American Policy Roundtable and the Ohio Roundtable. Joining me today is Michael Grothaus, who is a private attorney who was the former first assistant attorney general here under Jim Petro. Mike is of counsel for the Roundtable and for Vote No Casinos, which is the campaign committee that is working in opposition to issue 6. And we'll try to keep our numbers right, okay, on the issues today. We're all getting used to the new language. What we have discovered, and again, you may be aware of this, but we're finding that most people are not, is that the Eastern Shawnee tribe has in fact filed a federal land claim with the Department of the Interior for the purpose of establishing 2 casinos in Ohio. And that this is an extension of the legal activity that had gone forward in litigation in federal court. I'm going to ask Mike to brief you on that specifically in just a moment. The purpose of, first off, announcing this is because we have found that most people don't have any idea that this has happened. And that the nature of the way that issue 6 is written, the Lakes Casino Amendment is written, it has direct linkage between what happens in regards to second and third casinos opening in Ohio and the actual provisions of issue 6, and particularly what happens to the amount of money that is raised by the tax on issue 6 that is supposed to go to the counties. Now what we've done today is we've put up the language for you on charts here. The first chart you'll see is language from the 1988 Indian Gaming and Regulatory Act, which is federal law. The second chart is the actual amendment of issue 6, and the third is the conclusion. Let me start with the premise, as you'll see from the boards, and then let Mike give you a firmer understanding as far as what's happened legally and what it means for the state of Ohio. And let me try and make this as real simple as I can. Federal law says that you can't tax a tribal casino. And the word is very specific in regards to any tax. Issue 6 is set up so that there is a General Assembly may authorize a tax, and I might note, of up to. A lot of people think this is a 30% tax. It's of up to 30%. And what we've got is we've got a conflict between federal and state law. In the event that another casino is permitted in Ohio by state or federal law. And we call that paragraph, that little segment right there, the trap door on issue 6. Because if in fact a tribal casino opens where it is specifically prohibited from being taxed, then the trap door opens and Lyle Berman and Lake Casino in Wilmington in fact would go to a lower tax rate, and possibly, with a few smart lawyers, to 0. With a 0 tax rate, the counties get nothing. Now this is significant because this measure is being right now promoted as an economic gain for the counties. We don't believe there's a single county commissioner that could possibly be gullible enough to approve or endorse or work toward the passage of this amendment, issue 6, once they understand the trapdoor language, and now with this most recent development, the filing of the claims of the Eastern Shawnee with the federal government, bringing Ohio one step closer to the fact that tribal casinos could be a reality. Now, you might ask, is it coincidental that this has all come to pass and that the language is constructed in this fashion? You'll note on the final board here that we have listed a number of the Lakes properties, Lakes Entertainment casinos that they have in fact developed. And what you'll notice is that 5 of the 6 are in fact tribal operations. So the notion that the people who wrote this language, who do tribal casino development, would be doing so independent of knowledge of this trapdoor is pretty hard for anybody to believe. So that's the premise. First is, there is a piece of breaking news. This has happened, and very few people know about it. Secondly, it has substantive meaning for the state of Ohio, independent of issue 6, but when you put the two together, it changes a lot of the dynamic. Let me turn to